What's up YouTube? Welcome back. I have a video for you today that I've been intending to make for about 3 years probably. But it's actually a video that keeps changing, so I wouldn't have made it 3 years ago or 2 years ago or last year the same way I would make it today. It's something that kind of always evolves. As you saw from the thumbnail and title, it's a top 5 plus 1 video. I couldn't keep it at 5. I have to do the 6th one. A lot of you guys like these top 5 type of videos. I know that. I personally don't like them, so maybe that's why I've hesitated a little bit. But I think it's time. I get a lot of questions about my daily EDC. It comes up quite often actually. So I'm going to tell you what I carry, how I carry it, probably what I carry in it, and maybe just a couple things about it really quickly. I'm not going to drag any of this out. A lot of you guys know what I carry anyway if you pay attention to the channel. If you watch the guns I use for testing, it's usually guns I carry. So let's get to it. Let's start out. I'm going to tell you the one that I carry the most. Some people go all the way up to their number 1 carry. I'm going to start at the one that I carry pretty much every single day, and we're going to work our way down to the ones that I carry the least. So starting out with number 1, I have a whole pile of them next to me staged. We have the Smith & Wesson M&P 1.0. I do like the grip texture on the 1.0 better, and I like this high beaver tail thing up here, backstrap, that comes with a 1.0. Now, the M&P is a great gun. I choose to carry it because I shoot it very well, despite the factory trigger. This one is in 357 SIG. Now, this one's kind of a representative of many of them that I will carry because I've been known to carry the 40 caliber quite often. I will carry the 45 in 2.0, but that gets a little sandpapery on the side. I don't like to carry that one as much as the 1.0. So it's usually a 357 SIG or a 40, sometimes a 45, actually sometimes a 9, but rarely. So the M&P 1.0 or 2.0, and I carry it in a Kydex hybrid holster. It's got a leather backer on it. This is one that I've made. This thing is actually beat to pieces. A lot of people ask me about this holster. They ask what I carried in or where I got the holster because they see it in the video. So this one is cracking. It's not a good example anymore. I'll try to show you the big crack in it, and that's from repeated draws. It still has a little retention left, but this is an outside waistband holster. I have a lot of holsters just like this for many guns. I really like to carry like this most often. It's very comfortable, very easy to get into, and when you actually are out of either draw or reset, and when you put your belt on, it pulls it pretty tight to your body, your retention does become better. So I do like this style of holster. Sometimes I will use one of my leather holsters. I make them both, and I never sell these really yet because these are kind of custom fitted to me. So a lot of people are going to ask about them. They're my custom holsters that I've made. We're in the leather shop right now, but I don't really sell them, at least not yet. So either leather or Kydex for that one. And I carry that one, I would say probably 80% of the time, whether I'm at work or just going out and about or even at home. It's usually the one that I prefer. If I'm not carrying that though, a lot of times I will carry the Smith & Wesson Model 69 Combat Magnum, and this is the one with a shorter barrel. This has a 2-inch barrel, I believe, maybe a little fraction more or less. But it's a 5-shot 44 Magnum revolver. You can also shoot 44 Special out of it. I choose to carry a speed strip. I almost said stripper clip, but a speed strip. So I carry Hornady XTPs for 3 of these rounds in here, and I carry PMC 180 grain jacketed hollow point, which is not really good of an expander out of here, so I carry a couple rounds of that to be a little bit more punchy. And then I carry a bunch of XTPs as backup. I'll carry this in one of my homemade holsters. So this one looks a little rough. It's just been oiled. It wasn't ever dyed or anything like that. I also carry this outside waistband. And I forgot to mention, so the ammo that I'm using for the 357 SIG would be Spear Gold Dot 125 grain. And my reloads are just an extra magazine thrown in my pocket. I don't carry or keep sidecars on my holster or anything like that. And I don't like to carry separate magazine holsters because they're kind of bulky and they're kind of weird, and it's just one more step to put on in the morning. So I just throw an extra magazine in my pocket if I need one, or if I feel I need one. So other than that, I will usually carry either in one of those Kydex holsters or the hybrids that I showed you, or a nice leather holster. I'll carry my Colt Delta Elite. That's a 10 millimeter. So I love this 1911. I outside waistband carry these also. I usually keep a very flush fit mag in this just to stop the printing a little bit more than normal. This one's currently not loaded with anything. If I carry extra magazines, I just keep one extra one. Sometimes, every now and then, I will keep a magazine holster for these magazines because they're only 8-round capacity, so I'll keep 2 of them in an actual magazine holster. I usually carry Hornady Custom 155 grain XTPs or the Underwood equivalent. And sometimes, I know some people hate this, but I will carry the last 2 will be hard cast, and the last 2 before that will be something like an extreme penetrator or an extreme defender. So I tend to carry a mixed mag in my 1911. If you choose to do that, then that's you, but you got to make sure your gun can run with it. I've repeatedly tested and mine does. So I do carry this gun often. I don't like to carry it when I'm landscaping, when I'm working though, because the 1911s can get very junked up with all the dirt and debris and dust that I get for landscaping. That's when I choose to pull out the M&P, because that one can get about as dirty as possible, and it's never really gonna fail. I have had this gun fail on me because I got it really, really dirty and really, really dry, and it just didn't want to cycle the next round. I got one shot off because I was shooting at something in the garden, but the next shot didn't cycle. So I learned to keep this one cleaner and not take it to work all the time. So other than that one, like I said, my reloads, sometimes that one is the one I'll actually carry 2 extra magazines with me. Now, if I have to go for inside waistband appendix carry, one of my options might be this Ruger SP101 hammerless. So there's no hammer, nothing to get snagged as I'm trying to draw out. Now, I'm going to say this is a pretty nasty trigger on this gun. This thing feels like it's a 10-pound trigger. I'm not sure what it really is, but it's really hard to pull the trigger. And that's why I have it for appendix inside waistband carry, because I don't want to shoot myself. I really am not a big fan of appendix waistband, inside waistband carry. We'll talk about that in another video, but I really don't like to do it. If I have to do it, this is a very deep concealment gun for me. It's still a little bit of a large gun. I'll put my hand up. I mean, I can't exactly cover it up with my hand, but I can conceal this one just in that perfect little appendix nook. You guys know what I'm talking about. I can slip this thing pretty deeply down into my pants and nobody will know I have it unless they're actually, searching me. I carry it with another speed strip. This one's just got some normal 158 grain 357 Magnum in it. I forgot to mention it is a 357 Magnum, and I keep it loaded as such. Sometimes I'll carry a clip of gold dots. I currently have loaded in here Hornady XTPs, customs. I can't remember. I think it's 125 grain. I know they do a pretty darn good in gel. So this is my little deep concealment gun. It is a heavy little bugger, but it's got a lot of power. So if I feel like I have to conceal, I'm limited on rounds, I'm snag free, but whatever. I mean, they're gutter sights is what I meant by that, is that it's snag free, so it has these gutter sights in it. It's not the best gun, not the best trigger, just nothing's perfect about it, but it's deep concealed with a lot of power. Now on the flip side of that, I will carry the semi-automatic version, and I'll carry that in a leather holster also. That was a total leather holster that I keep with this one. And then I keep this one in a leather holster also. This is usually 3 o'clock outside waistband, concealed if I'm going to go ahead and conceal a gun. This right here is actually the 9mm version of the Shield. This is the Shield Plus, so you got pretty good capacity. But I will carry the normal Shield. I'll carry the Shield 40, which is going to be a 1.0. Same thing with my other 9mm is a 1.0. But the magazines, I'll just carry an extra one if I need to. I don't have magazine holsters for these. These are very accurate, nice to shoot guns. When I do carry them, appendix carry though, I'll carry them in the same holster, but I will do this. This is acceptable for me. I have the safety right here. I pretty much always keep the safety on in this gun. I'm very used to the 1911s, and these can be taken off very easily like a 1911 if you practice just a little bit and break them in just a little bit. So carrying appendix, I always religiously make sure that this safety is on. Of course, there's one in the chamber. All I gotta do is swipe that safety off as I'm drawing. It's one more extra level of protection for me when I'm gonna carry appendix. Those are the only 2 guns I will find acceptable to carry appendix other than a 1911. So I will carry a 1911 appendix. I've done it in an alien gear holster before. It's not comfortable, guys. A 5-inch, and I can't imagine a 6-inch, that'd be even worse, but a 5-inch 1911 is pretty hard to carry appendix, at least with my setup. I'm sure there's better holster for it, but you do have a safety on the side of a 1911, so that's why I find those acceptable. I personally would much rather be carrying a 3-inch, like a Colt Defender size, or the Kimber Ultra Carry, something like that, than a whole 5-inch. Even a 4-inch would be better. Because it does pinch you in certain weird places, trust me. Anybody that's tried it, especially with an alien gear, might have gotten that weird pinch that you'll about jump through the roof. So, not recommended too much, but acceptable for appendix carry because it does have a safety. Now my 6th one, you can call that the honorable mention, or you can just call it the one that I could not throw out of the stack, because sometimes I carry this one alongside other guns, or I carry it independently. And this is an NAA mini revolver. This one I always keep chambered in the 22 Magnum version. It'll come with 2 different cylinders. This is the Black Widow version, and I just had to have the little Black Widow, but actually the Black Widow grip is plasticky, rubbery. It's pretty good. This gun isn't super accurate at distance, but up close it actually has 3-dot white sights. At least mine do. Mine does. I think you can get it in night sights actually, or at least probably trade them out. It's 5 shots. It's really stuck in there. You have to disassemble the gun to trade it out. You could shoot 22 long rifle if you want to, or if you couldn't find the Magnum ammunition. I find that Magnum is pretty powerful and pretty worthy out of this firearm. We've done some testing and we're going to do plenty more, but getting this 22 Magnum, I can barely say it, when you hit into ballistics gel and things like that, I mean, it's almost comparable to super extremely light 38 special. So I do respect the caliber in the gun, but this is definitely a get off me gun. I just throw this gun in my pocket. Of course, I don't carry any reloads with it. It just gets thrown in my pocket. It's more of a gym shorts type of gun. I never carry it in a holster or a belt buckle or anything like that. I don't carry it as a necklace, but I just throw it in my pocket. It's there if I need it. And I don't take it to a place where I really think I'll get into a gunfight. I know you can never expect a gunfight, but I don't take it to the cities. Let's put it that way. So that's my 6th one. I really like it. It's a cool little backup gun. Some people will think I'm crazy because I shoot everything from 44 Magnum down to that little thing, but that's my rotation. That is what I've carried primarily for the past year. There's been a couple other things in there. There's been a couple other 1911s, maybe a couple other revolvers that I will carry here and there. I do actually carry the Springfield XDM Elite every now and then, but just not often enough to make it on the list. That's my list for now. I'm sure it'll change. I have plans to make some other cooler 1911-ish style guns into other cartridges that you guys will be interested in, but until then, this is what I've got. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys maybe found it helpful on a little bit of carry method, and just to explain that, I do carry outside waistband all the time, open carry, because I'm able to in my area. I know a lot of people are going to want to jump on me about the open carry. That's another subject for another video for another day. But I'm able to do it where I live in my community without any type of problems at all. So, thank you for watching this video, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep on shooting.